Yes. Don't forget to check out Doggie Diamonds No Filter on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you've never been there before, the links are right below in the description box. Go there now, subscribe. And if you've been there before, it's over 100-something shows on there. So go through the archives and you will find that it might be stuff you missed. Some great interviews and some great content is on there. So go there and check it out. Also, for only $100, I promote whatever you need on my social medias and my website. That's my Twitter, Facebook, Insta Stories, YouTube community, and my website, www.doggiediamondstv.com. Hit me up on Instagram at Doggie Diamonds for your promo. Serious inquiries only. Must be Cash App ready. I'm going to say this again because I've encountered some people who are really, really getting it twisted. I'm saying it verbatim, but it's also on the screen. Comprehension is key. So I want to make sure that those who come to me for promotion comprehend exactly what I'm saying, exactly where I'm saying I'm going to put your promotion at. Because I get people asking me, where are you going to promo it? Or you said you was going to do this. So I'm going to say it again for you. For only $100, I promote whatever you need on my social medias and my website. Whatever you need, meaning if it's a t-shirt line, candles, clothing, website, whatever you need promotion for, I put it on my social medias and my website. So that would be my Twitter, my Facebook, which is Doggie Diamonds TV, my Insta Stories, which is Doggie Diamonds, my YouTube community, which is Doggie Diamonds TV, and my website, www.doggiediamondstv.com. Hit me up on Instagram at Doggie Diamonds for your promo. Serious inquiries only. And if you're having a hard time getting the content, finding the content after it's up, the way YouTube changed the live tab with the video tab, just make sure you go to www.theinterviewking.com, sign up for the email list, and the new content will come directly to your email. Also, check out my new single on Apple Music. It's called The Workout Anthem. Here we go. Yeah, that's called the Workout Anthem. So without any further ado, today, in this climate we in, I was having a conversation with Blizz earlier, and this was inspired by a conversation I had with him. And I was talking about every time people see us, not me and him, but us as a people publicly, most of the time we're expressing displeasure with something. Like, we got an issue. We only speak when we're upset. We only speak when it's an injustice. We only speak when we're mad at something. So the stereotype on us as a people is that we're always mad. We always find something to be mad about. We're always outraged, and this person said this and this person said that, and we want to critique it and all that. So I was thinking, I was like, damn, besides YouTube, I really have these conversations about certain things in my real actual life. Like, I wouldn't call my cousin to pick up the phone and say, did you see what such and such said on YouTube or interview? We would be talking about stuff like, yo, they got pillows at Macy's. The pillows is $9.99. This is what we talk about. So I was saying, damn, if I converse with people in my everyday life about regular things, why all the time do we gotta come to the public and express our displeasure with shit that we really don't have an issue with? And sometimes when me and Blizz try to find a topic, the topic is always, in my opinion, in opposition to something, or trying to clarify something or build and all that. And to me personally, for my platform, where I'm going, where I'm at mentally, that to me could start to become detrimental, because I'm not mad. I'm not an angry person. If you could watch the Tory Lanez father thing I talk about, I was doing a lot of stuff in jest. That is me 24/7. That is me. That is me having fun, cracking jokes, and just living life the best way that I can, and whatever life I got left, that's what I'm about. So I never wanted to come on a platform and always seem like I'm mad and I gotta teach y'all something. And nah, that shit is whack. So for one show, I just wanted to show love to the people who inspire me to do what I do, to continue going, and have been instrumental in my life one way or another. Whether I was really cool with them, no longer speak to them, or still cool with them and distant, whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of people who, this Doggie Diamonds TV operation, they're very instrumental, hands-on or far. So I definitely want to shout out my partner, Big Steel, at the Digital Soapbox Network. And I'm going to give y'all a little backstory on Big Steel. I got an email from somebody one day, and it was Big Steel. So I was like, fuck is this? I don't even know who this is. So it says in the email, hey, I like your podcast. I like your show. I want to start a podcast network, but I don't know if you signed to anybody, and I don't know if you mess with anybody, but I want you on the network. So at this particular time, you know, you had the loudspeaker thing going on. I reached out to Combat Jack a few times to be on the loudspeaker network. I reached out to Chris Morrow a few times. I showed them my stats, showed them a lot of stuff. But for some reason or another, they didn't accept me, right? I later found some of the reasons why they didn't, and I understood, you know, it wasn't anything that I was doing wrong, but maybe one day we'll talk about that or whatever. So from there, I was entertaining the emails going back and forth, and then Steele hit me and said, you know what? I can't put you on a network. I got to make you my partner, and we got to start a network together. 2017, Digital Soapbox Network was born. Now, when we started the network, we didn't know what a network was. We just thought a network was, we'll get a bunch of shows, get a bunch of podcasts, put them together, and we'll find ads and, you know, distribute it to everybody. We didn't know. We were still learning on the job. So I can honestly say in the beginning, we did some things wrong. We ended up not working with some people. Some people went on to slander the name, the likeness, and whatever. But I don't owe anybody no money. I didn't take anything from anybody that was on the network. I actually lost a lot of money, but that's a whole nother story. Because being one of the owners, you lose money. And it was time where other people got paid before I did. But I want to say thank you to that man for even having that conversation with me, because nobody was having that conversation. So I want to shout out Big Steel. Also, when the issue with Taxstone was going on with me, I really was taken by surprise. I really didn't know what was going on. I really didn't understand why he was saying the things he was saying about me and attacking me. One of the things that I did was I reached out to Combat Jack. And I wanted to speak to Combat Jack and ask him what the hell is going on. Like, yo, when Tax was starting his podcast, y'all came to us for promotion. We promoted it. We helped y'all with that. What are he going at me for? What the hell is going on? Combat Jack didn't answer me. Little did I know Combat Jack was sick. I didn't know. Combat Jack later passed away. Now, when I've been previously asked about Combat Jack. Now that I can reflect and look at it, I didn't really put two and two together that he was sick during a time that I was asking him something that wasn't important. His life was more important than any podcast shit. I didn't understand that. Years later, I got more clarity and I say, oh. So some of the things that I might have said in response to Combat Jack, y'all was wrong for that shit. I made a mistake because I didn't realize what was really going on at the time that I was calling on him. He was possibly calling on God. And I put myself before him and God because I was hurt. And I wanted him to mend the situation that he wasn't mentally and physically capable of mending. So what I did was, when asked about him, I said how I felt. Although I felt that way, I did it without clear understanding of what that man was going through. So I was dead ass wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? And I like to apologize to him. I like to apologize to his family. I like to apologize to everybody who loved him. Yo, I was wrong. You know, I was wrong. I can say that as a man. I was dead ass wrong for that. But hurt people hurt people. And there's no justification. But I was wrong for that. And I just apologize. You know what I'm saying? I hope is, you know, everybody who love him, remember him how you remember him. Was good at his job. We had some good talks. But I made a mistake in that situation because I didn't know any better. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know that he was dying. I just knew that he died. And I didn't give a fuck about why he died and how he died because I was hurt. I'm like, yo, come on, man. So I was wrong for that. So I apologize to him. I apologize to, like I said, to anybody who loved him and anybody who was hurt by my words in regards to him, because I fucked up. I really, I fucked up with that one. And nobody's telling me to say this. Nobody can make me say shit. But just thinking like, yo, I fucked up. I wish I knew better. I wish I knew then what I know now. Also, so I want to move on past that. Also want to shout out Charlemagne the God, who anytime I call that man, he don't gotta do shit for me. But when I've called him and I might have asked him for something once or twice, he's always delivered. He's never ignored my text. He's never didn't get back to me. He's always done whatever he could that I asked for. And I think I've asked for two things. I think I asked for an interview. And yeah, I asked for an interview. And he was like, yo, can you come up to Power 105? I was like, me come up to Power? I was like, hell yeah, when? He was like, yo, can you come tomorrow? I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm at Power 105 interviewing Charlemagne. Dope. I was just starting my podcast. I think he was episode 3. So I appreciate him for that. Also, early on in my YouTube journey going live, at one particular point in 2017, the only person that was going live was Star. And I want to say shout out to Star for showing me some stuff that he didn't have to show me, but he showed me, he gave me the information, and this is 2017. Although it's times where it might seem like me and Star is at odds, I could never disrespect Star because he's been like an older brother for me and a mentor towards me in this, and always gave me love even when people thought it was hate. He still, even if he don't like me, he still respected what I do and what it is that I do, and gave me my props for that. So I always have to respect him for that and shout him out for being who he is and not being afraid to publicly show me love. That shit is big when people think that you're at odds, and you still could be at odds. He still could be like, fuck me. But when it comes to commending me on being good at what I do, he's always done that with no hesitation. So shout out to Star. Shout out to Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero gave me the name The Interview King. I used to run into Sub-Zero on our DVD runs in the street. We would all see each other. Smack, Beasley, Sub, French, Rest in peace, Kavlar, All Is Michaels, Truth DVD, everybody who did DVDs in the street. And I'm missing some people, but we will all see each other. And I remember Sub saying to me, yo, your fucking interviews is crazy. And I was like, thank you. But he was like, no, how you get them to open up to you like that? And I was like, they do? He's like, yo, you the interview king. And I was like, that shit got a little ring to it. So I started calling myself the interview king from there. Me and Sub-Zero had dumb shit, misunderstanding shit, little kid shit, not understanding what this culture can do to people who has a camaraderie when we put our egos before our intelligence. Anything that I had derogatory towards Sub-Zero on this channel, I took it off. Sub is the homie. Sub is my brother. Whatever Sub is going through right now, I want him to get through it safely. He's definitely needed in this culture. He's a part of the foundation of this DVD interview culture. And I commend him and got a lot of love for him. Shout out to Sub-Zero. Moving right along. I want to shout out Fendi. Fendi is an asshole. Thank you, Mr. 85. Fendi's an asshole. But Fendi's my asshole. Fendi will call me, and the funny thing that he say is, I don't want nothing. I just want to see how you doing. Because Fendi used to call me and say, yo, can you such and such. But I look at Fendi, how he started believing. Fendi didn't believe in me in the beginning. He's been like, the interviews are too long. You got to shorten the interviews. And I used to say, nah, bro, I like to do these in-depth interviews because when I do these in-depth interviews, look what I'm pulling out of them. But you say, no, it's a DVD. We only got an hour. So if you do an hour interview with them, we got to break it up. I should be like, nah, man, I gotta do that. So the long form interview was something that I was doing. So Fendi managed Nicki Minaj, managed Gravy, doing the Come Up DVD, doing a lot of work with Jadakiss early on, was an unofficial member of D Block. He started believing in me, and he started depending on me for his brand. The Come Up DVD became the top DVD in the streets, in the opinion of some. And he started hitting me saying, I need you to do the DVD. Now, me coming into the culture, I'm like, yo, I'm about to film and edit the top DVD in the culture. I'm responsible for this. But he trusted me and believed in me, and I delivered. So some of the DVDs you seen, it was the Come Up DVD. I filmed and edited the whole DVD, and we made history with that. So shout out to Fendi for even trusting me, believing in me. And, you know, what a lot of people fail to realize is that Dean Smith put Michael Jordan in the game. Michael Jordan had the confidence from Dean Smith believing in him, but he still had to hit the shot. If Jordan did not hit that shot against Georgetown, there would be no Michael Jordan today that we knew of, because he already was cut in high school, but he hit the shot. And I always felt like whenever I was given the opportunity, I always hit the shot. I always delivered. Always, I never bullshitted, because I take this serious. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Some people think I'm angry. Some people, no, I'm passionate. I really love this shit, which I want to move along. I'm going to jump a little bit. So shout out to Whack 100. He hit me up and said, yo, I'm having a room on Clubhouse, and we're going to have Blueface and Christian Rock in there. Pull up to the room, because I need you to ask them some questions. Now, everybody know my history with Whack. We wasn't getting along, threatened each other, all this crazy shit me and Whack did. I got like 5 videos on him. He shitted on me, blah, blah, blah. But that man respect my art. And he texted me and said, yo, I got my artist and his artist coming up. I need you to be one of the people to pull up to this room and ask them questions. So that shit is big to me because somebody that's the op, was previously the op, still know I get busy with this. And respected the fact that I could bring some value to what he was doing. So salute to him for that. The exchanges that I had with him, whether you love him, hate him, whatever, that's your business. I'm not proud of none of that shit. It was stupid, it was dumb, and it was immature on my part. Because even if he said what he said and was immature, and I still should have had enough maturity and discernment to combat that shit. So I got a lot of respect for him for pulling me in, making me a moderator on his stage. So shout out to Whack 100 for that. I also want to shout out Tadro. I met Tadro through our mutual friend Mike Beck. Rest in peace, my brother. Love you, miss you. Mike Beck put me with Tadro. From the first time I met Tadro, I don't know, our energies just meshed. It was just something like, you a cool dude. And we just talking about the culture. See, it's something about these cultural conversations that we have that the world is not always privy to. But they should be deep. Tadro, and I put Tadro on the phone with my other brother, Gongo Roach, who's publishing extraordinaire. Shout out to, I'm going to get to him soon. But Tadro, we's on the phone. We talking about, listen, these conversations are hip hop conversation about publishing. Who did this? Who did this? Who did this? So Tadro, through my trials and tribulations, yo, I call on him. I call on that man. Listen, whenever you got a brother that gonna pick up that phone every fucking time, I don't care if it's 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, that brother, yo, he pick up the phone for me all the time. And it's times I call him in crisis. He said, yo, bro, now you gotta do this. Now you gotta do that. And he always hit me to tell me good shit, to take me off the ledge of my boiling point. He told me something so profound one day, I just keep repeating it to myself. And he said to me, yo, bro, one of your gifts and curses, yo, you got a lot of options. You know how to do beats. You know how to interview. You know how to do graphics. You know how to DJ. You know how to do a lot of shit. So sometimes you want to do everything, but you can't. But yo, look at all the gifts you got. And I was thinking, like, those are gifts. Those shits don't come from me. That shit come from God. That shit come from my mother. That shit come from my father. So it made me appreciate myself more at a time where we don't always appreciate ourselves, because one of the things that we get and one of the things that we're pushed and thrust into by the haters and the ops is how you ain't shit. And if you let the haters and the ops get into here, you'll start to believe it. Even subliminally, even subconsciously, you'll start to doubt yourself just a little bit. So it take a brother to say to you, nah, you ill. you ill. My cousin Tad, I'm going to get to him in a minute. But Tadro, I thank you for being there as a bro for me. And yo, I love you like a motherfucker, bro. I appreciate you. And me and you done been through hell and back together, but we still here and we got farther to go. So I thank you for picking up that phone for me. I thank you for opening your door to me. And I thank you for lending me your ear when I just needed a fucking ear to let it all out. So I appreciate you. Gongo Roach. I met him through Lazarios. And she told me he was a good dude to know. And ever since me and him been building, our hip hop conversation is crazy. So I called him the other day. I'm gonna give y'all a conversation because I don't like talking about what I talk about with somebody in private, public. I don't like to do it. But I called him the other day. So I asked him, I said, Goo, let me ask you something. Who did Mobb Deep pay for the sample for Quiet Storm? He said, I'm gonna look it up. So he goes through his thing that he does. He looks it up. He says, what is their names? I got an A. Johnson, a K. Muchita. So I said, that's Prodigy and Havoc. And he says, Mel Glover, which is Melly Mel, and Sylvia Robinson. So I say, yo, Goo, what the hell did they pay Sugar Hill for? He said, because they sample White Lines. I said, yeah, they sample White Lines, which is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 song, but White Lines sample Cavern. So why would you pay them when you could have paid the people who made Cavern? Remember Cavern? Do-doom, 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 break sound. Do-doom, 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 do-doom. Why Cavern didn't get paid? That was Liquid Cavern. But me being a sample connoisseur and knowing music the way I do, so we had a whole conversation about that. And that's the shit about us talking about the culture, us talking about hip hop. But we was just really tripping off that shit, right? So I want to shout him out for always being in the ear, always picking up the phone, us always just building. And we talk about the culture. We don't talk about people. We talk about hip hop culture. Culture. Shit, sample clearance. People getting their publishing stolen. How could we reach out to said guy and tell him, yo, such and such took your publishing? How could we clean up the mess that we didn't create? How could we clean up the mess in the culture that somebody needs to clean up? Because there's a lot of your legendary artists who were done wrong, done dirty, and they don't even know it. Some of these guys are homeless. Some of these guys are strung out. Some of these guys are not doing well because they was robbed of their riches based off the music that they made. Now, so I want to shout him and thank him for that. My cousin Tad, who's like my brother, people always say, damn, y'all look just alike. Well, that's my first cousin, my older cousin. But we wasn't raised as cousins. We was raised as brothers. When you sleep in a twin bed as kids and you lay in this way and his feet is at your head and your feet is at his head and y'all laying y'all got to lay in the same bed as kids, that's more brotherly. And the funniest thing about it is that my cousin came to see me and we went out, we ate, we talked, and he has a podcast that he's working on called the OG Wisdom Podcast, which I'm executive producing and showing him the ropes in this. And he feels so happy about it because he said, yo, I got the best teacher, my fucking cousin. Like my cousin goes, I'm good. So I'm showing him stuff. So he came here and we were sitting down and he needed an intro. He said, yo, how fast did you do that intro? I said, yo, it took me like 5 minutes. So he's bugging off of, but he know my gifts. He know because he watched me as a baby with doing all this shit. He watched me. So he feels secure and comfortable that I can be my older cousin's teacher in a culture that he's getting in that he know. And he interviewed Raekwon too. I'm like, man, I got one interview. My cousin interviewed Ray. He interviewed a bunch of people and he asked me to critique his interviews. And I said, well, you need to do this and do that. Again, I'm happy that that's my blood, my family, and I'm able to do something for my family, but extend my tree via my family, via my blood. He came here. I had a TV stand that needed to be put together. We supposed to be putting it together. I ain't help. I had a dresser that's supposed to be putting together. I ain't help. But he did all of that. So shout out to him. But I was just sitting here, just showing him stuff in this computer world and really showing him like this works like this works like this works like that. And again, for you to have an older sibling that's not too older than you, but y'all grew up as brothers, for y'all to be sitting down to go from twin beds to twin Mac 11s to soon to be twin mansions. That's my blood. That's my cousin. That's my brother. It's nothing more greater than that. His mother passed away, my aunt. My brother passed away, which is his older brother as well as mine. He knew my brother before me because they older than me. My sister passed away, which is like his sister because they older than me. You know what I'm saying? So he had his own relationship with my brother and sister, but we didn't grow up as cousins. We all grew up as brothers and sisters in the same house. So we go through the same shit. We cry together. We mourn together. We understand. Like, we got the shining for real. Like, if you ever see me and my siblings together, it's very weird. We finish each other's sentence. We could eye contact each other and know when somebody's about to get the shit slapped out of them. We don't even say nothing. It's just a look. It's just one of these. We got the shining for real. So that shit is real. That sibling shit is real. So I definitely want to shout him out. When you see me with the little girl, Zori, that's her grandfather, but she's also my cousin / goddaughter, but that's her grandfather. And that's why we all look alike, because we all related. He protected me my whole life. Any issues I ever got into, people be worried about me, and I'd be like, it's a quiet dude that might have on a flapjack hat, slacks, and glasses that, okay. That's all I'm going to say is okay. So, but he's changed his life. Went from being in some very, very serious trouble with the law to now we got youth groups. We had an hour conversation about our love for children, how we love children, how we dated women who's had children, and we took on the children like they were our own, and still in contact with these children to this day, might not even be in contact with the woman no more, but the children are so important. Taking the children on trips, and this is all documented. I don't have to front about nothing, but our love for the children because of how we grew up. Our grandmother, because my grandmother is my paternal grandmother, but that's not his grandmother. Me and him are related via our maternal grandmother. But my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, never treated him different. Never. It was just all the kids is the same. If I got ice cream, everybody got ice cream. It wasn't, no, this is my grandson. You really not. So when we see the children, when we interact with the children now, we have the same mindset. We on the same wavelength. But now we're able to do business on a level, and he watched me. He'll tell everybody, this dude was 12, mastermind and shit that he's doing today. And he bear witness to everything. So shout out to him. Also, I want to shout out Corinne Bliss Johnson, who needed to be introduced to the world because I felt he had something to give you. The biggest gift that I wanted to give him was the gift of himself, gifting himself. What does that mean? You got something to offer, but you can springboard off of me and then give them what you got to give them. Because sometimes what you got to give them, I'm not always privy to that conversation. You're a person who's done significant prison time. You turn your life around. You help people. You help me. When I was running around, I don't even know where it's at. It's around here somewhere. But when I was running, you helped me. And he allowed me to coach him behind the scenes and trusted that I could, yo, bro, you going to get your subscribers. You going to get this, tweak that, and you will be good. And for him to be older than me and got me by significant years, for him to let me older brother him in the digital world, but then he older brothers me in the real world when it comes to life advice and certain shit. Him and Tadra I turn to every day. And still I turn to them every day. And Tad, that's my counsel right there. And it just so happens that all of them are in alignment with what they talk about, but they don't talk to each other. Everybody cool, but everybody, I'm the glue. So I'm happy that I was allowed to see greatness in him and want to share what I had. Although some people say, you ain't shit. I shared what I had and I have and able to give it to him to give to y'all because his perspective is needed. He's often misunderstood in some aspects, but what he's able to give is needed. So I'm happy that I have the avenue to give him the platform so he could give back to himself, so he could get monetized, so he could start learning what intellectual property is and learning about not sitting online for 2 hours. And it's not about donations. It's not about none of that. It's more about you being able to give people clarity on things that they didn't have clarity on. Also being able to promote your actual practice, what it is you do. That's the most important thing. So shout out to him. That's the comrade. That's the OG. And I got a lot of, reverence for him because we talk like 10 times a day. Y'all just don't know that. We talk like 10 times a day. Y'all just don't know that. Also, moving right along, I want to shout out my moderators that moderate this crazy ass chat room from time to time. I never had a moderator meeting. I never spoke to any of them. Sometimes I just saw their name. It just went next to their name and just made them a moderator because they always here. They're always making sure things are in order. They're always keeping things in order. And I have to give them respect because this shit ain't easy. This is not easy. YouTube is not easy. It's a very, very bad space sometimes where so much goes on and so much dislike, so much hatred, so much go on, and they gotta deal with that shit. I don't gotta deal with it. I want to shout out some of my childhood friends who I seen do hell of a prison time. And I was just talking to my cousin about this today. I said, you remember it used to be us in LG, Lafayette Gardens. What happened with Lafayette Gardens, and I got to just really build on this for 1 second. What happened with Lafayette Gardens is a travesty because they were caught in systematic shit that was going to happen in a lot of projects. It just so happened LG didn't have a lot of buildings, so it was more personal. But I grew up with Butter. I grew up with Whirl. I grew up with Fruit. I grew up with Nut. I grew up with Star. I grew up with Peter Rab. I grew up with Phil. Me and Phil was in the same class. Even Ace was there, but Ace was from Grand and Clifton. I grew up with all these dudes. And to see the system snatch all of them the way they did, we were kids, and I seen my childhood friends, Fruit and Butter, go to jail for 21 years and 23 years. Crazy. Just crazy. But I remember being kids with them. We remember being young. We remember digging pockets. We remember fighting with them against other people. And that shit is crazy to see them come home and try to turn their life around after doing that much jail time. Whether they were they paid their debt to society. That's all I want to say. Because it's not about whether they were wrongfully convicted. They paid their debt. And to see them working to turn their life around, that shit is not easy, because I couldn't imagine giving 21 years of my life anywhere. And I done did about 21 years in this industry. And that's Aruba 927. She's a female that I've known my whole life. She known me my whole life. We from the same neighborhood. And she could even tell you how so many of us changed our life around, because all I really knew, I'm gonna just be real with you, and it's fucked up, and I'm not bragging about it. All I know and knew was violence. I'm just serious. That's all I knew. I didn't know conflict resolution. I didn't know anger management. I didn't know that. All I knew was violence. You violate, you get violated. Dudes will come to your crib and snatch out your crib in front of your mother and beat the hell out of you. That's just all I knew. Shooting broad daylight, fighting, going up to, that's all I knew. That's how I survived in Brooklyn. And to see a lot of my bros that we was kids, I seen them. The last time I seen Fruit, last time I seen Butter, we ain't had no facial hair. And to see dudes come home, grown ass men, it's like, damn. And shout out to my brother Bam too, AKA Stanley, who's another one of my brothers who got snatched as we was kids. You know what I'm saying? He got snatched when we was kids, and he did all that jail time. He did all that jail time and still my bro. You know what I'm saying? He be like, yo, y'all the only ones I rock with out of the people we grew up with, but he just did all that jail time, and I was too young to know to write him and to stay in contact with him because I didn't understand what jail was. That wasn't my world. But Bam, Fruit, Butter, so many of them just did so much jail time. Even shout out to Mumu, aka Hook Off. Grew up with him. He just did so much jail. They just did so much jail time. It's just crazy because we was kids. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know no better. And they trying to put their life on track. And any way I could help them, I always reach out and say, yo, this, that, and the third. I got this. I could do this and do that. Because one of the biggest things about incarceration is staying out. It's so easy to go back. It's hard as fuck to stay out. So shout out to them. Also, I want to shout out Sonetta. I think Sonetta is an asshole sometimes. Sonetta might think I'm an asshole. But if it wasn't for Sonetta, some of these individuals that we know as the conscious community, we wouldn't know. We just really wouldn't know. We wouldn't know if he didn't give them a platform. Now, whether you subscribe to their way of life, their ideology, their way of thinking or whatever, that's on you. I'm not asking anybody to change their life, whether you Hebrew Israelite, whether you Nawapian, whether you atheist, whether you Moor, whatever. He still was able to introduce different ways of life for you to learn, for you to get the knowledge from. Shout out to him for having the platform to introduce this history, these storylines, and some of the shit that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I read the books, but now we got walking historians. Now we got oral traditions. Now we got people that could dispel some of the stuff, and he had the avenue to do that. And shout out to him for doing that. Also want to shout out another one of my childhood friends that's like my bro. We go back to the sandbox, same block. A.A. Rashid, who's another individual that lost a lot of his freedom time to the prison system, but brilliant as a motherfucker. Like A.A. Rashid is brilliant to where you could be like, yo, how you know that shit? Shout out to A.A. Rashid, aka Ahmed. We call him Ahmed. Y'all call him A.A. Rashid, but that's somebody that I've known my whole life. But call me sometimes, and he always call, you a legend. You know what I'm saying? That's his favorite shit. But, you know, just watch him just be so brilliant. And we was kids, and he knew some of that shit. It was like, nobody want to hear that shit, Sharif. But he was Sharif before Sharif was Sharif. But he also was in the street. So he knew the duality of the good and the bad and understood the good and the bad and could break down shit for me. I'd be like, man, nobody, come on, man. This shit too much. We fucking 12. But he told my cousin Taz something. He said, every time I think of your moms and I think of your house, I always think of music. Because I think about it, coming up in my crib, we always playing music. Always. From Tad mother in her room playing music with turntables to us being in our room playing music. It was a musical household. And the fact that it was a musical household, it was able to infect me with the music bug, which brings me here today. I also want to thank my neighborhood, Fulton Street, which I was young as hell, not understanding what was going on. But it's such a story to be told about my neighborhood because my neighborhood produced so many individuals that are responsible for hip hop culture right now in the 90s era. So my neighborhood birthed Biggie, Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Red Hot Lover Tone, which is part of Trackmasters. Myself. Many of us was integral because we was on different blocks, but we would get together and the vibe was music. The vibe was talking about I remember me and Big standing on Washington and Fulton, talking about What They album for like an hour. Now, at these particular times, we didn't think to document conversations because there was no documentation. It was just us talking. But we talked about Redman for an hour. I remember Big used to love Gangsta Bitch. He loved Apache. Rest in peace to Apache. He loved Gangsta Bitch. So thanks to my neighborhood that I grew up there, that I saw what I saw, I was able to survive there, live there, and definitely a lot of shit that I've been through and saw got me where I'm at today, as well as my crew, the Raiders, everybody that was a Raider, past, present. You know, I got a lot of love for y'all. We've been through hell together. We bled together. Some of us homies died. Some of us went to prison. But there was nothing how tight we was, boy. And we used to fight our ass off. It'd be like 4 or 5 of us, and it'd be like 30 dudes, and we go swing on them. This is a fact. And I'm talking about Shy. I'm talking about La. I'm talking about Nut. I'm talking about Jerome, who's locked up, free Jerome. I'm talking about Kawan. I'm talking about Knuckles. I'm talking about the P Street. I'm talking about L. I'm talking about Blacko, Soup, Trife, Bam, Trub, Half, rest in peace. So many of us was so tight-knit growing up. That shit was just different. You ain't never seen no shit like this. Just a group of little kids that were put in together to get an order of 4 wings and rice, and everybody get a half a wing. That's how we grew up. And that shit was so instrumental of how we grew up. So I want to shout out my neighborhood. I want to shout out some content creators as well who, one thing, I shout out to one of my mentors that people didn't know was my mentor because we had a different relationship, and he used to come to the crib, and he really believed in me, and his name was Pain. His name was Killer Pain. Pain came to me one day because I used to be scared of Pain because his name was Killer Pain. Dead ass serious. He was older than me. And I remember him coming to me. He was like, I hear you got a lot of dope beats. And I was like, yeah, I do my thing. He said, yo, what is it going to take for you to get your beats on the main level? I said, well, I don't know. I know a few A&Rs. I know a few people, but I think I'm going to need some money. I think I'm going to need some money to do stuff independent because I didn't want to be a part of the industry. I wanted to do it on my own. He said, how much money you need? This is 1996 or 5. I said, I'm going to need about $10,000. I said, 10,000? That's it? All right. He said, well, I know April Walker. I know all these. So he started naming all the people he know, put me on the phone with them. Yo, I got this this young kid who's nice. Yo, he's good at production. He was a part of Trackmasters. He did this, that, and the third. Yo, we gonna do our thing. The name of our group was Murder Inc. No lie. I never felt like Irvin them stole it because we didn't make no noise, but that was the name of our group, Murder Inc. I remember Payne saying to me, yo, I'm going to Pennsylvania. If I make it back, you got the $10,000. And I remember saying, if you make it, if you make it back? He said, nah, it's a lot going on out there right now, but I'll be good. Yo, when I make it back, you got the money. And I remember just not feeling well about that shit. I was like, I don't like the way that sound. He said, nah, come on, man, we be good. Payne was short. he had a little weight on him. He had just did jail time, so he had like big shoulders, but he was short. But let's just say he always had a little pouch on him, not a merce, but he had a pouch on him at all times. So he left. He left me. He left. And then I remember him saying, he beat me. This how long ago they beat me. He's like, yo, I'm out here. I should be back this day. And I remember being in my crib. And Shy, that lived down the block, came and rang my bell. Everybody knew my bell. He rang my bell and he was like, yo, I'm sorry. I'm like, sorry about what? He said, yo, Pain ain't make it. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? He said, yo, Pain got killed last night. I was so young. This wasn't 96. This was like, Juicy died in 96. Maybe this was 97. I know Big was still alive. Or was Big still? See, it was so, damn, man. I lost so many people. I forgot the years, but I remember just being stuck. Like, hold on, what the fuck is going on? Like, everybody who I love and everybody who I deal with in this music thing, they get killed. Like, the street shit is taking away my friends. Like, I didn't understand that shit. Like, I really just didn't like, yo, how, we trying to do the right thing, but the streets is taking away my friends. So, to his son, shout out to them. Every time I see them, I always tell them, man, your father was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, your father was ill. You know what I'm saying? I always tell them, yo, your father was ill. Your father was ill. Your father was ill. No, Juicy did not die in 96. Half died in 96. Juicy died in 93. Pain was 94. Big was 97. That's what it was. Okay, it just came to me. But I just remember just always telling them, man, your father. And they were so little when their father passed away. They don't really have no memories of him. And sometimes I just sit them down and say, yo, one time me and your father, and I like to tell him about, because he was older than me, but we spent so much time together in his last days that it was just ill. And I remember Pain and Un having a conversation, and Un was saying, yeah, I got Junior Mafia. And he was like, yo, I got Murder Inc. I don't know if Junior Mafia could fuck with them. And Un was like, y'all got that kid Dog doing the beats, right? And he was like, yeah. He's like, yo, that kid is ill. But I just remember just being a little kid and just being around these people, just trying to find my way in this shit. And the love of the music, the love of my comrades, the love of that shit got me through, because I dealt with so much people just getting killed. You know what I'm saying? And I had a few brushes, getting shot at, getting stabbed, just a lot of shit. But yeah, I'm gonna move on from that. So shout out to Pain, his son Dave, and David Jr. Why you name him Dave? Tasha? Anyway. His two sons got damn near the same name. But shout out to both of them. Mixie Pain is the son, and Scrap Uno is one son, and Mixie Pain is the other son. And he has another son who's little, who don't really know, because he was a baby. Yeah. 10 kids. See, I don't need. Oh, and the girl. I know the girl. Damn, what the girl? It was a lot of them, but shout out to all of them. I want to shout out some content creators. This is no favoritism. I don't care if you have an issue with them. That's your issue. I don't have an issue with them. Many of them have showed me love. Many of them you might not agree with. Many of them you might not like. That's your problem. One of the things that I have to do in this culture is being one of the elder statesmen and one of the OGs of the culture, is that I can't get caught up in who you got beef with. That shit don't got nothing to do with me. Has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with me. I do not get into anybody politics. And one thing that I don't do is I don't let one content creator come on my channel and talk about another content creator. When I'm interviewing you, I'm interviewing you. We not going to talk about nobody else. So I want to first shout out 050 The Movement, Harlem Legend, and China Brim or China Honcho. When my channel went down, I remember China reached out to me like, yo, bro, fucking get your shit back. Yo, hit us up. You could come on there. So shout out to 050 The Movement. Shout out to Scheme Team. Scheme Team is crazy as hell, but Scheme Team is a rider. If Scheme Team fuck with you, he fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jasmine. That's her name, yeah. Shout out to Scheme Team. He was trying to put a play together for me, you know. And again, like, this is what I'm saying. I have people who try to help me because I tried to help, because I've helped them before. So they try to help me. So shout out to Scheme Team. Scheme Team since 2000 is his channel. Shout out to Johnny Mac Philly, the First 48 channel. Shout out to King Erna, King Erna channel. And again, many of these guys, for whatever reason, people might dislike them or whatever, but I'm just talking about my personal encounters with them has always been positive and enlightening. Shout out to Black Dot and the Urban X Network. Shout out to Black Dot, man. Like, Black Dot is ill. Shout out to Kwame Brown for giving me an interview, which I got all types of flack and all types of weird shit took place because I interviewed somebody, go figure. Shout out to Math Hoffa for doing his thing. Who else? Shout out to 10 Toes Down. Me and him had some real deep conversations that ain't got nothing to do. See, sometimes when men talk, this shit ain't got nothing to do with YouTube. It ain't got nothing to do with what's going on, who beefing with who. Sometimes people just talk about real shit that ain't got nothing to do with what y'all think we're discussing you. A lot of times, I'm not big on discussing men. I'm big on discussing principle and works, because my knowledge of this YouTube system and how things go, I spread it to people. And you can ask all them dudes. I've given them shit. Teach them about SEO. Teach them about shit. And the sad thing is that when a lot of dudes could have came to me and said, yo, homie, how could I such as such? How could we such as such? They didn't do that. They chose to attack me, or they chose to have an attitude. That's why they got 10 pages, 15 pages, and none of them have high viewership. That's why you have to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to do that when you only need one channel or two. But that's why people have 6, 7 channels, because you have 6, 7 channels and you're a fucking hater. Go figure. Do what it is you feel like you gotta do. Some of the artists. Shout out to Eric Sermon, man. I got a close relationship with Eric Sermon because he just embraced me. I was just like, I grew up. My favorite group has always been EPMD. Never been a secret about that. My favorite producer has always been Pete Rock. My biggest inspiration in media has always been Ralph McDaniels. So growing up and seeing these guys and meeting these guys and knowing these guys, that shit is deep for me. Like, I'm still, still a little starstruck by them. Speaking to Eric Sermon, and he, damn, man, before Eric Sermon has a compound. And I remember him saying to me, you see this room right here? That's your room. I'm like, what? He said, yo, put your studio in here. I'm like, yo, Eric Sermon just offered me a room in his compound. In one room, we got Rockwilder. In one room, we got Ty Fife. And then in the next part of the compound, this is Eric Sermon main room where all them hit records come. And then this is my room right here. He just put me in the mix with 80, 70, about 180 million records sold. He put me in that just because he believed in me. And we had another play that we was working on. Maybe one day we could work on it. But I just wanted to say shout out to him for trusting me and believing in me at all times. Also want to say shout out to Pete Rock, who I had a lot of personal conversations with about the culture, about the game, and just just telling him how much I appreciate him and him giving me the love back in the jewels. Shout out to Easy Mo B, that's the big bro. I can't even say enough. Y'all heard it for yourself. Shout out to Shout out to Planet Asia, all the way on the West Coast, always showed me love. Shout out to Inspector Deck. Shout out to Inspector Deck. Like, shout out to Capadonna. So I had an idea, and it involved Capadonna. So what I did, I remember loving, I loved Milk This Cow. Oh my God, I didn't know who did the beat. I love Milk This Cow. Oh, I love that song. Oh, I love that song, love that song, love that song. And I remember calling Lounging Low, who's Capadonna brother. I said, yo, Lounge, man. Yo, I love Milk the Cow. I love Milk the Cow, man. Like, yo, why Cap never did a video for that? He was like, I don't know. Fucking do it. I said, yo, you think Capadonna let me do Milk the Cow video? I don't know if you know about Cap and Lounge and a lot of Staten. They got their own language. Yo, he called me and said, yo, Cap said you could do it. I said, Cap said what? He said, yeah, let's do the Milk the Cow video. I said, oh no, y'all don't even know what this mean, man. I remember grabbing the 7D. Didn't even really know what I was doing. But we gonna milk this cow. The video was on YouTube. You can see it. I directed that. And I love the song. He let me do the video. I was like, oh nah, it's up. They in trouble now. A year or two later, Queen Yanazda, who used to be married to Cap at the time, she called me and said, Capadonna has a sponsorship with a snowboard company. To promote the snowboard company, they want to do Winter War's video. Capadonna wants you to do Winter War's video. I dropped the fucking phone. I swear to you. I dropped the phone. I said, what? He said, yeah, he wants you to do the video. I said, yo, that's one of the most classic introductory verses in hip hop history. He said, yeah, he wants you to do the video. Oh, man. Listen. I called Quan Lee. I said, yo, Quan Lee, listen, man, we not getting paid. But I tell you what, we are about to cement ourselves in hip hop history. We've done historical shit, but we about to cement ourselves in hip hop history. He said, how? I said, Capadonna want us to shoot Winter War's video. He want me to do it. I want you to be on the camera. I'm going to direct it. He said, I'm calling my father. I swear to you. He called his father. Yo, Dad, I'm about to do a Wu-Tang video. His father said, you lying. He said, no, for real. Needless to say, we went to Park Hill. I lived in Park Hill as a kid for a short time. And Cap was out there. And we shot Winter War's video, and it was just like, oh shit. We just shot Winter War's video. And shout out to Original, which is Capadonna, who's really, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go on record and say this, and nobody can deny these words. Capadonna is the inspiration for most of that music that you heard and see come out of Staten Island. Capadonna is the inspiration. It ain't nobody else. It's Cap. You ask any Wu-Tang member from Staten Island, who is the inspiration for what all of y'all do? Rest my case. It's Capadonna. This is a fact. So when I get there, I go to 160 and I say, yo, Cat, what up? And he said, we at it again. And I'm like, yo, my grandmother would probably be looking out the window. And they just remember my grandmother. And then one of the brothers, damn, homie, damn. He said, yo, one time, my grandmother, your grandmother held the door open. He said, yo, your grandmother held the door open for me when I ran in the building with the iron from the cops. Yeah. So shout out to Capadonna for believing in me, for doing that, because that cemented me and put my name in a place that I just never thought as a director I would be able to do something as major as that. Even though I did some videos, that was my favorite video because I knew what the verse meant to hip hop culture, and I'm a part of that. Shout out to Max B. Me and Max B. Max, this is to Max. When you come home, I'm so happy that you're going to get to go through these channels that you wasn't able to go through. An interview with myself and Max B is not what's needed in 2023. I can't interview this Max B. I don't want to interview this Max B. I want this Max B who's coming out, who was so talented to me back then. I want this Max B to finally get on Hot 97. To finally get on the Breakfast Club. To finally get through these channels that he always should have been through even back then. But the momentum, he's going to get his just due. So I'm happy that he called me again to do what you seen us do this, because it's 2 Max B interviews. I don't know if the audience know that. It's 2 of them. What y'all see, she loves me not, that was part 2. Only thing we didn't do, Max, we didn't ride through the hood. We got lost in the cars. But what I'm saying about this culture that I love so much, it was times that my phone rang. And I remember being severely depressed at one point in my life. And that phone rang. And some of the people you love, that y'all love in this culture, said, yo, Doggie, I need you. You're the only person that could do this. Nobody else could do this. I need you. And it gave me the chills saying it, because if you didn't have confidence in yourself, and then you didn't think you was who you was, or you're dating a woman who you're not bringing in the bacon, or you don't have the success, you're not here, you're not there, you're not a household name, but the people that they love, they could bear witness to this individual calling your phone, saying, bro, I need you. Pull up. And then you go in and making history with them that cements you as possibly, arguably, the greatest hip-hop interview of all time. That shit is real. So, I want to shout out Nicki Minaj. Early on, I was around Nicki a lot because of the Come Up DVD. I remember having extensive conversations with Nicki. I knew Nicki was gonna be who she was without even the music. You know why? She had the attitude for it. She had the mind state for it. Shout out to Safari too. Safari, you will always be my bro. Safari, I love you, bro. You was there from the beginning. Through thick and thin, I seen you early on, bro. Shout out to Safari. Shout out to Safari. I gotta shout out Safari because when I saw Nicki, I saw Safari back then. They were inseparable. So shout out to Safari. And I remember her having a conversation with me about something, because it's a lot of me and Nicki Minaj interviews out there. It's even a part of a Nicki Minaj interview that I have that I never even put out. But shout out to Safari, shout out to Nicki, because I knew she would, I'm like, this shit different. This girl got the attitude of a superstar and she ain't never achieved shit. But if the music could match the attitude and the swag that she got, she's gonna blow up. She's gonna blow up. And what happened? She was like the biggest artist, female artist, and I'm like, damn, that's fucking Nicki. Like, I knew it. Also, I want to shout out to Deb Anthony. I spoke to Deb on the phone 3-way. This was the time that I was doing the Forbes DVD thing. And Deb said, you got to come to Atlanta. And I was like, for what? She said, because y'all got that Forbes thing. And I could really help you with that. Like, yo, you got it. And I was like, Deb, when you want us to come to Atlanta? She said, like, yesterday. Me and Tad rented a car. We drove to Atlanta. We met with Deb. She was doing B100 at the time. I met, what's the brother's name? Frost. And what's his girl name? Damn, man. From Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Anyway, I met them. I met a lot of the people. Needless to say, the business with Deb didn't go right. Not due to me. We ain't gonna say who fucked that up, but it didn't go right for whatever reason. My cousin Tad always tell me, I've never seen somebody fumble the ball like that. But anyway, Rashida. I met them. I got drops from them. And I interviewed Deb. And she just always been real with me. We kind of lost contact, but shout out to Deb for being, who she is, and attempting to help my situation, because she damn sure attempted. We drove 16. I ain't drive shit. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't drive. I was in the back seat and knocked the fuck out. But the business didn't go right. The business never went down, and it wasn't it just didn't work. But shout out to her for attempting and wanting to do something. Right there, I'ma close out, because there's so many people to name. The people that I just named off the head, as of recent or even later, who as I think about my journey in this culture, that had an impact on me. And no matter what you think about this other man, shout out to Nori. It was a time in the culture before Nori was doing because Nori did little stints of hosting the Hot 97, him and Joe Budden. They did little stints of doing that. So they did media before. Joe Budden and Nori had hosted Hot 97 before. But I want to shout out Nori because 5 years ago when he started Drink Champs, I remember him saying, bro, you could get on a show whenever you want. And Drink Champs was in its inception, and I was like, nah, I ain't ready. I'm not ready. And at this particular time, I wasn't ready. I didn't have Doggie Diamonds TV. I didn't have, some of the delivery wasn't where it needed to be yet. And I still even think, even on the Drink Champs, I could have did better. But I speak from my heart. I got a big mouth. Like Tupac says, sometimes it's coming from my heart, not my emotions, but my heart, my passion, my love. And that speaks for me sometimes. So sometimes I don't have time to review it in my head and think. This guy speak from the pure place. I remember going to Miami. And I remember I said, yo, I want all my family there, man. Like, yo, I'm about to be on TV. And I remember just being so emotional about it because Nori was somebody that would call me and say, yo, I need this, I need that. And I would just pull up, deliver. Every time he came to Jersey, we meet at that hotel he stayed at. We go to Hula Hands, eat chicken wings. When I was in Atlanta to meet Deb, he pulled up in Atlanta. I met him, Ja Rule, went to strip clubs. There's a bunch of stories and shit. Maybe one day I'll tell, but it's not really important. But I remember doing Drink Champs, and I thought he was going to front on me. Let me tell you a story real quick. So I'm there in Miami. I ain't hear from Nori. He's in New York. They like, yo, Nori's in New York. I'm like, how the fuck he in New York? We out here to do the interview. I'm out here to do the interview. And they said, nah, Nori's in New York right now. So I'm like, yo.
I know this nigga Nori ain't try to play me. Had me fly all the way to Miami and he dubbed me.
So I'm texting him. He not answering. I said, yo, this nigga Nori played me. We supposed to do the interview on the 17th. I've been in Miami since the 14th. I've been fasting for 3 days, drinking water, doing wild push-ups, trying to look my best. My haircut is running out. I got my haircut before I came, and it's running out. I got that hair that grow in like 3-4 days. My haircut is running out. This motherfucker's in New York. Oh, my God. So I remember texting him. He didn't answer. They're like, y'all, nah, Nori in New York right now. So I remember him saying, yo, I'll be at this restaurant. I'm like, nigga, what time? Like, you're not even giving me, this shit is so vague. Now, it was important for my family, my immediate family, to be there with me. My cousin Tad was there. His son was there, Little Buddy. Everybody know Little Buddy. I had Little Buddy with me. I gave him the name Little Buddy. I raised Tad's middle youngest son. I raised him. I gave him his name Little Buddy. This little kid, listen, Little Buddy has a story, and he's never going to tell it, but Little Buddy was a baby when I was recording Biggie, and he would hit play on the SB 1200. He was in Pampers. So Little Buddy growing up always been kind of spoiled. I'd be like, yo, you want to come with me? Like, for what? Like, I'm about to go interview T.I. He'd be like, nah. I'm like, yo, you know your friends would jump at any interview that I'm doing. You don't even want to go no more. But Little Buddy was there forever. He was there as in Pampers for everything. So he's seen so much hip hop that he wasn't even excited about it no more. I'd be like, yo, I'm about to go interview Meek. He'd be like, I'm a fallback. Fuck you mean you a fallback? Your friends, tell your friends, I bet you they'll want to go. But anyway, so it was important for him to be there because I'm the first person of my family to make it on TV for something positive. So I said, Tad, little buddy gotta be there. And my other cousin, Tad brother Jamel, was there. And it was us, and they had little buddy said, I can't go, I ain't got no money. I'm like, listen, come on, man. His father bought like what Tad said he had 6,000 on him. Jamel bought 3,000. That was 9,000. And I have, I got the blank check. So I'm like, no, you gotta be there. This is history. Like, I don't think y'all know. And I had some other dudes there. I had the brothers there with me. And I got to shout out, if I don't shout out anybody, the Ali Vegas interview was filmed. A lot of them great interviews was filmed by two brothers that I met on the internet that I reached out for help for one day. And that's Klein and Ether. And they just never, ever, ever denied me. Like, shout out to them. This wouldn't be, listen, I'm going to be real with y'all. Where I sit today, and y'all seen them with some interviews with me when I was doing the radio.com interview. Klein and Ether, man, them two brothers, man, they was there for me some real tough times. So shout out to Klein and Ether. They my little bros, but they such men. I never met two people that I didn't grow up with that I didn't know that was men like that handle their business. And if I call him right now and say, yo, could you come film this? He would fucking show up. Never gave me an excuse. Never told me no. So that 5 million Ali Vegas interview, they filmed that. That Trife Gangster, they filmed that. That Choke No Joke, they filmed like all them fucking interviews you see with the 300-400 that they filmed all that shit. And I can't repay them monetarily, but I could repay them with love and appreciation for what they did for this Forbes DVD brand. So every time I went in that CBS building, they got to be there with me. Every time I celebrated something, they got to be there with me, because it's not only for me, it was for them too. And I didn't grow up with them, but they was always there, always there. And they was in Miami. They didn't ask me, yo, could you put me on a flight? Yo, a hotel? They got their own rental, their own flight, and pulled up for me. That's why I shouted them out in the Drink Champs interview, because they had to be there. They had to be there to witness, because they kept telling me to do Drink Champs. Everybody kept telling me, yo, go on Drink Champs, doing Drink Champs. And I was mad at Nori. I told Nori why I was mad. I was like, no, I'm not doing Drink Champs. I'm not doing Drink Champs until me and Nori have a conversation. Still was like, do Drink Champs. Klein, Ether, do Drink Champs. Tad, do Drink Champs. I was like, no, I ain't doing Drink Champs till me and Nori have a conversation. After we have this conversation, I'll do it. But I'm not going to go there being fake. I'm going to talk to that man, and that's my brother. So we got to have a fucking argument about something to get a clear understanding about something, and then we can make history. And Nori called me and said, yo, where you at? I'm at a restaurant. So I show up at the restaurant. At this time, my personal life was in turbulence. My aunt, needless to say, was going to pass away a month later. My brother, my sister, they're now deceased. My whole family gathered around the TV, and I did Drink Champs. No, I'm skipping, but I did Drink Champs. And when is the episode coming out? And I remember this hating ass nigga that I used to be affiliated with, that I just never will fuck with again in life, kept telling me, they not putting your episode out. They not gonna put your episode out. They not putting it out. Oh, if another episode come out and they don't put your episode out, it's not coming out. And I used to be like, yo, bro, if Drink Champs episode come out or it don't come out, I don't give a fuck. I sat down with my brother Nori and we spoke and we talked. We broke bread and it's all good. I wanted to see that man in his face. And I wanted to talk to him about a problem that we potentially could have had. So I if I didn't get nothing from it, I got my brother back. No, I'm telling you, they ain't putting it out. They ain't putting it out. That's when I ain't gonna go into that. I ain't gonna go into that because this shit triggers me. It really triggers me. But anyway. So he didn't put the interview out. He put out somebody. And y'all bombed Nori. They kept hitting me. When the hell you putting out? When they putting out your interview? Didn't you go do Drink Champs? Why it didn't come out? I did it around Christmas. Why it ain't come out? Listen, y'all bombed him. And Nori texted me. He said, please, can you tell your fans it's coming out? I'm getting hate mail. I'm getting hate DMs. Every comment is hate. You have a Lil Wayne fan. He said, I don't know if you know it, or you got like a Lil Wayne fan base. They killing me. Everything I do is when it's done. And I was like, yo, y'all fucking dope, man. Y'all are dope because I do this shit for y'all. Y'all know I do this for y'all. Y'all champion me. Y'all push me. We push each other. We motivate each other. Sometimes we cry together. We laugh together. We have fun. But he was like, yo, it's coming out, I promise. So tell him to stop. Tell him to stop, please. And I remember telling y'all, Nori said it's coming. Y'all could chill. I never told y'all to do it. But Big Ma, Kelly, y'all went crazy on him. And he said, yo, I ain't never seen no shit like this. He's like, yo, you don't even got no major deal. But they shitting on me in every video. I might even still have it in here. I'll show it to y'all one day. But needless to say, one day I was sitting there. He texted me, he sent me the trailer. And I remember sitting in my crib and I turned to Revolt. And like 8 a.m, the first thing I seen was, Doggie Diamonds is in the building. And I'm like, yo, I'm on TV. Yo, I remember calling everybody, yo, it's coming out tomorrow. I'm on TV. And I remember my older brother, who's now deceased, calling me. My brother was crying, my sister crying, everybody like, yo, wow, like, you didn't want to go to school. My brother lectured me, yo, you didn't want to go to school. I remember I beat you up for playing hooky. You told me you was going to do all this shit and I didn't believe you. But I'm so proud of you because now everything that you did, everything that you went through, this is what it's all for. This is what it's all for. And I remember it coming out and my grandmother, who's 86 now, and everybody who know my grandmother don't play. And I remember my grandmother like, wow, they seen me in every situation in life you could possibly be in, but now they seen, they little brother, they little cousin, they nephew, they grandson, they uncle, they godfather on TV. And it was a thing where they know me. They know my intelligence. They know my orating skills of speaking. But that shit was such on display that Nori said, yo, we don't even need Rakim no more. We got him. And I was like, did he just compare my intellect to Rakim? I was like, oh, shit. But I'm telling you, I was on one. And I'm saying all this to say that shit happened because of y'all. Y'all pushed me. Everybody yelled at me, argued with me to do it, and I kept saying no. I didn't want to do it. And I remember my preparation, I tell y'all all the time, my preparation, because I knew I was going to be on television, that shit was so different. I'm telling you, I'm in there, I was fasting. I was drinking distilled water. Like, I'm like, yo, nah, this is the prize fight. Like, this is the justification for every fucking thing I've done in my life. I done dissed Puff. I done said shit about everybody. And now here I am. And I gotta thank Nori because I don't know what that man went through behind the scenes to get me on that network, but he did what he did. And it's a write-up on me as well on Revolt. They did a whole write-up on me. I got my own time slot. So when this Drink Champs episode came out, it was just me. It was all about me. It was all about me, my intellect, and how I thought and how I felt. And I think about my family members who's no longer here, that one of their last sightings of me was on their TV. So you could say, yo, my little brother was on, because my brother, my sister, they used to call me their little brother. She used to make me mad. My sister, my last living sister, say, my little brother. Yo, I'm not your little brother. I'm your younger brother. I'm not little. I'm 6 feet, 190 pounds. I'm not your little brother. I'm your younger brother. They still say my little brother. But I appreciate Nori for doing that for me, because it showed my family that all the trials and tribulations that I put their ass through with this music shit, this was the payoff for it. Unfortunately, it was a lot of people who wasn't happy for me. It was a lot of people who didn't celebrate with me. But I can't talk about that, but I will talk about the people who did. I remember getting calls from people from my neighborhood. All the little homies in the hood was so fucking happy. Like, yo, shout out to Kwame, to Country, to all. I remember, shout out to Bars. I remember them saying, yo, that's the big homie on TV, yo. Man, I remember that shit, and I just remember that moment. And although it was a few years ago, I gotta thank Nori for doing that for me. So that shit was just big. So no matter how people feel about him, I scold Nori sometimes, because he actually said, if it wasn't for you, there would be no Drink Champs. He said that to the world, and y'all seen him say that. So sometimes I text him and I scold him. Sometimes I text him and say, yo, you fucked that up. Sometimes I text him and say, yo, you messed that up. But I gotta thank him for doing that for me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta thank him for doing that for me, because if he didn't do that, you know, the last time I saw my family would have been the last time I saw them in the physical, which I didn't, but they was able to see me on a platform that was bigger than all of us. You know, they could watch me on YouTube all the time, but this was somebody else celebrating me. Next is the Breakfast Club. We'll be there this year. That's a fact. We'll be on the Breakfast Club soon. And I ain't sitting with nobody. I'm gonna sit by myself, you know. And again, you know, I work really hard. My cousin laughs at me because, you know, people laugh at me because I'm like a mad scientist. I wish I can show y'all. Thank you for the donation. I wish I can show y'all. Maybe I can show y'all. Maybe I could show y'all my setup. Maybe I could show y'all my setup. Hold on. If y'all could see it, maybe y'all can't. How would I do this? No, y'all would have to see this. And that's showing me. So let me see something. Okay, yeah. So look, this is my setup. I got the camera right there. I got dual screens. And I got big ass lights up here, which you can't see. I got a mixing board right here. I got a microphone. Yeah. And I had these monitors, but I went to Dollar Tree and got these shits right here and just sat them on there. But yeah. So yeah, this is, you know, how I do what I do. I got speakers. I got a wireless keyboard. And I just got lights everywhere. So yeah, y'all can see that. But tonight I wanted to do a show. And there's more. As they come to me, I'm gonna say, damn, I forgot such and such. I forgot such and such. I got such and such. Before I go, this is very important to me. a lady that called me today that's been like my mother for 5 years. Love you and I appreciate you for checking on me always. And to my niece and my nephew, not going to say their real name, but I'm going to say the name that I call them and they know it's them. To Nudo and to Weiss's, Uncle loves y'all. This little girl is 5 years old. She called me today, and she's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I talk to children, sometimes I love them so much I cry, because I try not to cry in front of them, but I try to get them to understand. I don't think they understand how much I love them, and and I want to protect them, and I want to be there for them and just make sure nothing ever happens to them. But my little niece called me today, and she's texting me some crazy shit. And I'm like, what are you texting me? And I asked her today, I said, do I buy you everything? She said, you buy me everything, but I wish you had to bide. I wish you had to bide me that teddy bear, because I really love the teddy bear. And I could show you the picture of me, her, and the teddy bear. And I buy this little baby. I never told her no. Anything she want, she's getting. I don't care who oppose it. I don't care how expensive it is. I don't care anything this little girl want. I'm Uncle gonna get it. She know that. So yeah, this is me and her in Walmart with the teddy bear. She was scared of the teddy bear because it's so big. You see how big the teddy bear is, but she said, I wish you had to just buy me the teddy bear. I'm like, buy? What are you talking about? But to them children, man, I love y'all more than life itself. Y'all my kids. I call y'all my kids, even though y'all my niece and nephew. But there's days where I knew I had to live and be great for them. Zori, you know how much I love Zori. Zori is my default screen. That's me and her. Like, I look at that every day. The kids, the children, and my family, biological, blood related, or through relationships. I love the kids. They know I love the kids. I love the kids. I never tell them no. They want pizza. They don't even ask their parents no more. They come right to Uncle. And yeah, I love the kids, and I'm happy to have met some of them, happy to be in some of their life. And I'm not going nowhere regardless to what. So yeah, to Nudo, to Weiss's, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are incredible kids, 2 brilliant 6 and 5 year olds who work the iPad, who can go on Minecraft, who could go on Rec Room and do all this shit around. I'm like, how you know how to do this? And yeah. So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to thank them. But the children is what really keep me motivated and keep me going. And I got to work hard and I got to make money so I could buy the kids whatever they want. Because when I was little, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, name was Umi. You heard Method Man speak about her a lot. She never one time in my life told me no. Anything I wanted, I swear this woman bought me everything in my life. And I always said, when I get older and I have the means, I'm going to have some children around me, either my biological children, my niece, my nephew, my godchildren, and I'm going to make sure they spoiled as hell. Anything they want, they going to get. And this little girl will take me to Five Below and just buy a bunch of stuff. And her favorite thing is slime. And she's not allowed to have slime because the slime gets everywhere. And one day I bought her 85 Play-Dohs. I know I OD, but I bought her 85 Play-Dohs because that's just my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes I speak to them and I feel good and, I'm good. But then when I get off the phone with them, I kind of, I'm happy, but then I could be sad a little bit because, I don't think the kids could understand how much you feel for them. You tell them, but I don't think they understand. And I look at children and their innocence, and I'm like, I hope nothing ever happens to them. I hope nobody ever harms them, because if anything ever happened to any of them, y'all never gonna see me again, because I'm going to jail. There is no justice. There is no police. There is no there is none of that. I'm going to jail forever if somebody if somebody hurt one of them children in any way. But yeah, this text thread with me and her really just, I'm gonna try to show it to y'all. Okay, let me see if I can show it to y'all. This is me and her. Hold on. Yeah, this is me and her text thread. It doesn't make any sense. Absolutely nothing. She's not even, what is any of this stuff? I just put laugh out loud. So she texted me from her iPad and her phone. She's 5 and she has an iPad and an iPhone. But that's my baby, man. That's my baby. Like, I didn't birth her. That's not my seed. But, spiritually, that's my baby. That little girl always know when I'm bothered, something is bothering me. She'll just come and start doing this, or I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain how she know when something is wrong with me. But I could just be sitting there chilling and she'll just come over to me. And I'm like, she I don't know. That's like my little spirit. She could just feel something and she'll just come and just start rubbing me or hug me or come sit on me, you know what I'm saying? Just cuddle me and stuff like that. And she's been like that forever. So yeah, when I had some tough days, that little baby kept me sane. These kids kept me sane. These kids would talk to me and come kiss me and hug me and jump on me and fart on me. They love to fart on me. Both of them sit on me and fart. And it's been a rough few years for me. It's been very, very rough, but they make life worth living. And if I don't do it for anybody else, I definitely do it for myself, but I do it for them because they deserve the world, and Uncle gonna give it to them. They already know that. And what she told my nephew, she whispered. She thought she was whispering. So we were in Target one day, and of course she goes on her little toys run. She buys all the toys, and then she says to my nephew, buy the toy. Just put it in the cart. Uncle's gonna pay for it. But she thought she was whispering, but I heard her. I'm like, yo, how you trying to gas him to get toys? She got missing teeth. She's like, I'm like, no, I heard you. You trying to whisper. You trying to play me, but I heard you. You're not low. You telling him to pick the toys up and put it in the cart because I'm going to pay for it anyway, because that's what you do. And now you're going to have a friend. But she's like, just put it in the cart. Uncle's going to pay for it. I'm like, wow, the kids. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I'll be back tomorrow. Peace. I ain't mean to keep y'all this long, but we talking, shooting the shit. Until next time, peace, y'all. I'm out. Info.